Welcome to Sebring International Raceway. My name is Andrew Spears. Along beside me tonight in the booth is Jacob Burton. And, it's going to be a fun race tonight. This track is very, very unique, to say the least. This track is, as you can see, an old runway from the World War II era, the 1940s era of the United States. The track's located in Central Florida, and it's a little hot and muggy out there today, Jacob. I had to take my shirt off and put on a t-shirt.
Yeah, it seems that way, yeah.
Yeah, it's 72 or 79 degrees with a humidity of 72% out there. It is muggy. The wind is blowing very hard today. It's going to be blowing at about 17 miles an hour. We do have partly cloudy conditions tonight. Track temperature is 82 degrees, so it's just right up under that optimal racing temperature for these Porsche Cup cars. And I tell you what, these guys have been looking fantastic tonight. Just some names notable on track tonight. It's going to be Bob Wallace, Spicoli, DC5R Sector, Simply Steve, to name a few. Bob Wallace actually has the fastest time of the evening right now in practice, sitting at a 2.03.39, and Spicoli is sitting right behind him, right at about a tenth, less than a tenth of a 1/1000th of a second off from his time.
Yeah, I think this is one of those tracks that's going to be really fast for these guys, and I think this one's way more wide open than some of the other tracks that we've been to this season.
Yeah, it'll be a little bit faster, and we're going to just get a taste of what these guys are going to go through next week when it comes to the what do they call it? What do they call it? The
Crown Jewel.
The Crown Jewel. Yep, we will be starting a little bit earlier next week, so
yep,
we'll get you all time on that.
And it's going to be a 2-hour race, and it's going to be fun, but it's going to be pretty. What's the PG-13 of what I was about to say? I'm trying to keep it PG-13.
Hectic. It's going to be very hectic.
It's going to be very, very hectic and very. We're going to try to keep it as controlled as possible, but it's going to be kind of hard on us to go for 2 hours, but we'll try.
Yep. So these guys, with the track being on an old tarmac, an old runway. This track is very, very bouncy, so to say. It's very rough. These drivers are getting knocked around in the cars. It's eating them up in there. So, we're going to keep an eye on these guys tonight. But, I mean, that's what we're looking at. And you can just see how rough these areas on track is. This track actually has concrete in the corners. It also, on those tarmacs, it's nothing but concrete. So, I mean, they're just bouncing and bumping up and down the straights. And you'll see those coming up here soon.
Yeah, being this track used to be a World War II airstrip, it's kind of understandable why it would be a little bit bumpy because of the patchwork they had to do to make it an actual racetrack.
Yeah, and that's also going to cause some issues tonight with drivers staying pointed in the right direction tonight. Concrete, when you get your tires on concrete, if that concrete doesn't have rubber on it, you're going to get a little slick because it doesn't act the same as asphalt. As we watch Poseidon here, he's coming up to the areas that I want to talk about. One of the areas he's hitting right here is considered part of the tarmac. He'll go through. There's a bunch of long straights. So this track is actually really, really fast when it comes to speed. These guys can get anywhere from 100, 200, 300 miles. I'm sorry, 100 to about 120 miles an hour. I'm thinking about a jet. So right here, so right here is one of the areas that I wanted to talk about. This is nothing but an airstrip right here. This is the actual runway that the planes used to land on, and then this turn right here, this hairpin 180 type turn, as you see them bouncing around, is the what's the word I'm looking for here? It's the not the runway, but the other one. Wow, that jet just left. They sit and wait on this thing. before they take off.
You've done some flight sim stuff before. You should know this.
I do, but I don't. You know what?
Are you referring to the taxiway?
The taxiway, that's it. The taxiway.
Oh my.
Yeah, sorry.
It is what it is. The names are all confusing. Everybody gets all these names wrong. Everyone calls it the tarmac, but it's not really tarmac. It's the runway and taxi. It's just, you know, people get it all sorts of confused. The names almost don't even mean anything anymore.
Yeah. But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, Book, thank you. Taxiway, I could not think about it. Could not think about it at all. I'll check on DC5R right now. He's driving a good-looking Puff Puff Pass black and gold car. Is currently holding that fourth position with a 2.03.957, sitting about 2/10 back from G-Bay. I don't remember hearing that or saying that name. These names are so unique. I remember most of them, but except for that one.
I don't know if we saw them maybe at the very beginning of the season. The name seems familiar. I think it may have been at the very beginning of the season, which was a long time ago now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. We've been through 11 races. This will be the 11th race of our season with these guys, and it's been spectacular.
Yeah. Yep, and it'll only be this race and one more, and then that'll be it for the season.
Yep. Garlic Dog is not doing as hot as he wants to, sitting with a full 2.6 second, 2 minute 6 second flat fastest time. Currently sitting in 15th. I know he's been wanting to get up there and give these guys a little competition, but Bob Wallace is going to be the guy to beat tonight.
Yeah, Bob Wallace looking really strong with that 2 minute 3.38. He ain't doing too bad.
Yeah, you know, looking at everything on track and looking how everything is shaping out, I would say that, you know, in the first race, a 20-minute race, it's going to be a little different when we get into that 40-minute race.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to, you know, the top 8 will invert. When we come to that, the top 8 will invert. So, you know, whoever finishes 8th will start first in the 40-minute race. There will be one round of pit stops for these guys in that 40-minute race. And you may see some guys come in twice just to get a little more downforce on the front of that car. Now, that is what's unique about these Porsche Cup cars is the gas tank actually sits in the front. So these guys are going to really, really enjoy that downforce, especially on these wide open runways that we're actually watching right now.
Yeah, it's going to be key for these guys to have the weight in the front to keep the cars down and make sure that they're getting all the downforce that they can. But, you know, of course, when the fuel goes in the front, you start lifted up on the front, and that can cause some instability in the car. So these guys are going to have to watch out for that later. And I want to make mention of Spicoli. Spicoli just took over the lead from Wallace with a 203.05.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we're looking at that now, following him around the track, and he was able to knock off 3/10 from Bob Wallace's spot. He's almost been able to break the 2 minute 2 second marks of the time, which would be great for him. Looking here at the fastest times for this track, the Porsche Cups are setting at a 2.2999 set by Sebastian Peralix back in, looks like it was 2021. So yeah, he's sitting very close to that world record for these cars tonight, which, I mean, that's we've only seen it a few times with the United Racing Network, somebody actually beating the world record in game versus what the record is in real life. I mean, it's only been just a few times that we've seen that, and it just shows how much of a true sim this is when you actually get these guys in here with either real drivers or, you know, competing for these records, so to say.
And I think that name is Sebastian Priaulx. Maybe it's Priaulx? He's British. That's interesting. So, unsure of the pronunciation on that one, but I'm sure we'll figure that out at some point.
Yep. And guys, we have done some audio changes to our sound. So if something sounds a little off on your guys' end, let us know immediately. We can get that changed, get everything adjusted and fixed how they need to be fixed. And we can do that on the fly. But as we get ready to go to qualifying here, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. Jacob, these guys have got 10 minutes to put down the fastest time of the evening that will set their grid for the 20-minute heat-style race. I say that in quotation marks. I mean, it is a race. It does count towards points. It does set the field for the top 8, but it is going to be very important to see where these guys sit, especially with this long, or with this all-on-track qualifying, you know, this racing-style qualifying. Now, you'll see people go back to the pits, come back out, because they have 10 minutes to put down the fastest time on track. Right now we're watching, and it looks like Avo Vroom is going to be the first one to go on his lap right here. We're going to ride along with him here. As he comes to the line here, this will be the start of his qualifying time, along with a few others. Brosidon, Spicoli, all right there in line. Brando has started his time. Lamp has started his time. We'll get times up on the board momentarily, but this is what we're looking at. Qualifying times will be posted on that left-hand side where the timing tower usually sits once they get set. But you can just see how much maneuverability these guys have got to do in these cars. How much they have to shift down, how much they have to maintain their gas and their brake together. We're actually going to throw up on the board here a little bit of their dashboard. You can see just what he's actually doing as he goes down to first gear right there. Somebody actually spins right there in front of him. Already up to 100 miles an hour in these Porsche cars.
Look at that, he got up to 144 before having to slam the brakes to get into the turn.
Yeah, I mean,
all the way down to 50 mile an hour. So,
I mean, almost 100 miles an hour in less than a few feet. I mean, that's those brakes. That's those Porsche brakes. I mean, they do great job. And you see he's fighting right now with the guy in front of him, which I believe is Brosidon. And this is one lap with Avro Vroom in the number 30 car. If everybody's joining in here currently. We're going back and check on everybody else here momentarily, but this is what we got. This is what it is. And you can just see, look, this is one of the biggest straightaways that I know in road racing. One of the longest. Not the longest, but one of the longest. Because you can get up to almost 160 miles an hour and then immediately into the brakes onto that hard, slick concrete there. A big corner here. If you don't take this right, it can definitely cause you to mess up. Wallace posted a 2-minute 3-second 979. We will get these guys' paint schemes refreshed here momentarily. I just want everybody to see what we have on track. Simply Steve putting down a 2-minute 4-second .80. Looks like Bob Wallace will have the fastest time as of right now.
Yep, and Evo Voom, who we were following along with that lap, posted a 2:05.85. So definitely the right now the slowest time on track. I say that, and Garlic Dog beats him out on that one.
Yeah, 976 Book, Spicoli, Sector are all still trying to get their stuff. Now, the cars just went white for just a second. We're refreshing these paint schemes to make sure we have the most accurate paint scheme from Trading Paints. So maintain with us just a little bit, and we will get everything updated as it comes in, as it's downloaded from the servers. Yep, Erico, we're glad to have you here in the broadcast tonight, and I know you'll be racing in the Crown Jewel next week. I'm sure that'll be a big turnout by everybody. So we'll be live next week. Erico, I'll get with you after the race if you're listening, and figure out a good time to start for that race. G-Bay has not posted a fast time yet. He is still sitting in that unqualified section right now. He is halfway through his lap. You can just see the way these guys are moving around this track. Their top speeds are going up on the board right now. Top speed so far has been about 197. I'm sorry, I take that back. I say a 162 up there by AJ.
You said 190 something. I was like, excuse me?
Hush.
Numbers are hard, right?
You know what? I am dyslexic, so I mean, why they put me in this position, I have no idea. Brando,
best one for it.
In the 321, I mean the 123 car. See what I did there?
He's doing it on purpose now.
I could say 213, 231, 312, 321. My mind just is wild like that. You can see he's put down a pretty good time of 2 minutes and 4 seconds. Actually 2.4.169. He has a little bit to go to catch up the biker pilot, who currently sits in third right now, but he is in a good position to start up there with the leaders.
And Erico in Twitch chat makes a good point. Keep an eye on DC5R during this first race. He has a qualifying ban.
I did not know that. I noticed he is not on track along with Bear. Guess that's Bear, Tennessee, because it's capital T and capital N. Oh, Sector gets a little loose coming out of the corner there. Two minutes qualifying remain. Who is going to maintain that top position? Spicoli has beat out Wallace for that top position by a full, looks like 6/10 of a second. Spicoli is definitely putting his application into SpaceX for that time. He's got a Falcon rocket right on the behind on his rear end on that one. So cool how them things can come back to Earth and land and not just crash land, you know?
It's a technological marvel, man. It's the great thing about technology is you can figure out these ways to change all that you've ever known, and make it, you know, a whole lot better, I guess, in the scope of things.
Yep. Sector and Book right now. I believe that's Book behind him. No, that's not Book. I'm not sure who that is behind him. It's a tender car, whoever that is. I'm actually curious who it. Biker pilot.
Oh.
No, there's two of them out there. My live timing's only showing qualifying times right now. It's not showing actual race, who they're racing with times, so.
Yeah.
Nicolator up. in the 12th position, or in 12th. He's qualified 12th right now as he heads off track. He's going to get it restarted here. These guys have got, I don't know, for some reason I was thinking 10 minutes of qualifying, but we're doing 15 minutes of qualifying for this race.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. I thought it was 15 instead of 10.
I don't know what I was thinking. Disregard.
Yeah, it's all sorts of confusing.
So the I did change something on the live timing on the overlays. So whenever there's an incident, you can actually see it on track on the left-hand side now. It's going to pop up in red for somebody going off track, which is usually an indicator of wrecks and stuff. And actually, speaking of wrecks, Erico makes a good observation. Tire temps is going to be a big part to play tonight. The grip window is pretty small. Once they overheat, times are going to drop off and cars will be sliding. Yeah, we mentioned that earlier, especially when they hit these concrete portions of this track. These cars are going to be all over the place. We're going to see a lot of people sliding, and I'm really anticipating next week for the multi-class GT3 LMP2 series to see how them guys do, because this is a big track. It's a wide track, but the problem is it's a slippery one at that.
Yeah, I feel like the multi-class cars with the GT3s and LMP2s might actually have a harder time around this track because of its material composition. You know, with it not being asphalt, it's a completely different surface and has a completely different set of characteristics when it comes to grip and everything.
Yeah, these guys have been putting in a lot of time, and everybody that races in these sprint races, they get a little taste of what's coming on the following week. And with it being a crown jewel, we will see some tire changes. It'll be a strategy race next week for sure.
Oh yeah, a big old 2-hour strategy race, and it's gonna be a lot of fun to see.
Get some look at some guys on track here. Nerd sitting back there posted a 205.294 his last lap, and his fastest is a 205.033. Currently putting him in that 12th position, right above Nicolator. Nicolator did fall off that 12th spot back to 13th. Spicoli and Bob Wallace is still battling for that first position, for that fast position. And it looks like Spicoli just posted another fast time on his last lap.
Yeah, Spicoli's sitting with a 2-minute 3-second .277, so he's exactly 0.7 faster than Bob Wallace, almost 0.7, basically a .701 faster or 702 faster.
So everybody in chat that don't know, Erico, who is in the Twitch chat right now, is posting about next week's race, and I just learned something about that race. Next week's race will start in the night, and we'll get to see a sunset here in Florida, and I'm sorry, sunrise here in Florida. And you know those beautiful Florida sunrises, they're awesome. Mm-hmm. We'll be looking towards the east as the sun comes up, hopefully catching some great action as these guys get started through that race. It's going to be a great time, as it looks like Spicoli gets loose and grabs that inside wall a ton. Let's go back and take a look at that. So that had already happened at that point. We're going to back that up because that was a hard hit, and this is something that we're going to have to watch out tonight all night long. So we're going to look at it here. You see he actually cuts that corner a little wide, gets on the rumble strips, gets it down into that sand, and he's turning the wheel. He can't get it back on track. It finally grips that front tire and just spins him around like no other, grabbing that inside wall. I mean, just a ton.
Yeah, it's going to be one of the biggest things for these guys to watch out for is doing that, getting too far off the track and catching some spots where you won't be able to get some grip, and then that stuff happens. So you have to be really careful about it.
Yep, for sure. Nicolator still having some struggles on track, trying to put down a good time. You see him fighting the car here as he gets a little loose coming down the front stretch here. See him get a little loose there. And we're on that tarmac style, you know, that concrete. So we're going to get people a lot of loose there. Very loose there. A lot of loose. Very loose. And that's it. That's very hard, I tell you. And that is it, gentlemen. Check out the grid here. Spicola is going to be sitting in that first position. Bob Wallace in that second position. Biker Pilot in fourth. Biker Pilot third. G-Bay fourth. Brando fifth. Brosidon sixth. AJ seventh. I can't say the name. Avovoom in eighth. Looks like Bear is sitting in ninth. Sector in 10th. Simply Steve in 11th. Lamp in 12th. 13th is going to be Nerd. 14th, Nicolator. Looks like, make sure I'm looking at this right here. Everybody's getting in here. Nicolator 14th, Book 15th, 6th is Garlic Dog, 976 and 17th, and DC5R in 18th. Let's get a look at this grid here. You can see them on track right there, all lined up, ready to go. Spicola is going to lead them down through the first corners as we get ready to go green here. They're counting down the time. Getting themselves locked in. Make sure the steering wheels are in position. Be going live momentarily. People are still getting into their cars, getting on track. Race info itself has not changed, except for the temperature. It went up to 81 degrees. Getting a little sun on track right there on the front stretch there. We get ready to count down the green here. I think Spicola is going to try to get a heck of a jump here. These guys have got the grid. I see some people jumping. We are green here at Sebring. Everybody fanning out here. Coming down to the first corner. The first corner is a left-hand corner. Coming down to it. Very easy. Everybody seems to get through it okay. For the most part. You have some guys off track at the back there, number 2. Looks like that was Simply Steve getting a little loose there. It's a good start by these gentlemen.
Yeah, very good start by these guys, and keeping it off of each other, keeping it off the grass and everything, and just making it clean through those first corners. And now they're going to start spreading out.
It's spreading out as long as AJ there in the back. Bob Wallace doesn't grab the rear end of Brando as it like he was going to there. No off tracks as of yet. Good job racing by these guys. Simply Steve takes that corner well as he gets a little loose there in front of Sector and Lamp, setting 11th and 12th. And like we were told before, DC5R will be a one to watch tonight as he currently holds that 14th position. He is up 4 positions, starting in the 18th position, starting last. In that long...
Avovoom seems to have moved back quite a few spots.
Yeah, you can see the 3 wide coming down here to this long right-handed turn. They do kind of fan it out here. Got some guys taking out cones. Got somebody in the front there. It looks like Bear is in the wall.
Oh, yeah. Bear just ended up in last place there. Oof. That's rough for him. He was up towards, I think, the halfway through the field, so that's going to hurt him a bit.
We're going to take a look at that. I seen him go off. There is going to be the 56 car right there on the first car of your screen. He goes into the left-handed corner. I think he took it a little wide there. Knew he took it a little wide. Puts the brakes on, grabs that safer barrier wall, and just waits for everybody to pass there.
That's rough.
It does look like Bear does go into pit lane. He's currently holding pit lane right now. Poseidon was a little slow coming through the hairpin. Got some else in the back there off track. Looks like that may have been Lamp. Yep, Lamp was the one that went off track there. Leader as of right now is still Spicoli, and Biker Pilot is trying to battle for that front place position as they were side by side entering that corner there. See a tight battle for that third position right behind them there. All over the gearbox here or all over the rear is Bob Wallace trying to look for a position as it looks like the Crimson Chin gets right up on his rear end. If you know that reference, you're probably pretty young. Spicoli has walked away from the leaders here. Got about a 4-second gap. But the battle right now is for second and third between Biker Pilot, Brando, and AJ. All battling for a position here. Those eyes always creep me out. Through the back of the field here, check on Lamp. Lamp is battling with DC5R. DC5R has moved up to 11th now. He was in 14th, so he is making his way through the field slightly. He is just hitting those corners a little bit better than everybody else right now. Now, will that last? We don't know, but we shall see. As Lamp gets sideways, DC5R is going to go right on around. Avo Room, Nicolator, all are going to just stack up there in that corner, and that's going to give DC5R a chance to make the move right on by. Let's take a look at that from DC5R's perspective. So we're taking a look here. Simply Steve is in front. I'm sorry, Lamp is right in front. As you see, he just gets a little loose. DC5R takes advantage, and off to the races he goes as he collects most of the field, stacking him up there, giving him a good jump.
Yeah, I think we mentioned that earlier. That's one of the things that we're going to have to keep an eye on is these guys getting in some spots where they get a little slippery, and that was one of them. And so that's going to cost Lamp a little bit, and DC5R gets some positions on him.
Yeah, looks like Poseidon did pass Lamp there, but the gap right now is still over. Looks like the gap is still over a second back, or second ahead to DC5R. Taking a look at the best times here on track tonight. Spicoli will beat that world record of 2 minutes, 2 seconds, 9 tenths of a second. The fastest time was a 2.2999, and now Spicoli will have a world record, virtual world record. Let's just say that for the
simulated world record.
Yeah, simulated world record. If this was real life, he'd have the record right now.
Yep. That's a pretty fast time for a fast racer. Spicoli has always been a very strong driver, like a bunch of these guys.
Yeah, I'm
there's some position moving. There's Biker Pilot, G-Bay have been moving a couple positions.
Well, I'm looking for G-Bay right now because it said that he was in an accident, but I don't see his name at all.
Biker Pilot appears to be off track, and he dropped all the way to 15th, 16th now.
Yep, Aria's trying to get back on track there.
Oh my.
Let's take a look at it. There's G-Bay and Biker Pilot. Biker Pilot looks like... Oh, it looks like G-Bay just grabs him and then just turns him. G-Bay does get back on track. G-Bay does have damage.
Wow. Biker Pilot tags the wall as he's trying to get turned around. So he's gonna have some extra damage on top of that. Yikes.
Driver82, thanks for the follow. We do appreciate it on Twitch. We're also live on YouTube and Facebook for everybody that does not know that. And coming up at the break, we have a quick announcement to make about some stuff that we just launched. So be prepared to be prepared for that announcement as we end this race here in about 12 minutes. Take a look at all Long Island Nerd here. Biker Pilot's teammate, so to say. Long Island Nerd is sitting in 12th right now. Nicolator is hawking down Avo Vroom right now. Avo Vroom, not Vroom. He just needs to add an R there. Just needs to add an R. It would sound better.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Maybe.
You know, Vroom Vroom, you know?
Yeah. I mean...
Take a look at this battle up here for second. AJ is all over the rear end of Brando right now, as Bob Wallace is all over the rear end of AJ as they go down to the corner.
Yeah, it's a tight battle right there. Those guys are stacking up. They're wanting to get past one another, but I think at this point they're kind of just mimicking each other and seeing if one will make a mistake and then the others can pass them.
Yeah, making a mistake is something that they're wanting. They're wanting Brando to make the mistake. And Brando's wanting Spicoli to make a mistake, but Spicoli has put a gap on this group here of almost 8 seconds. 8 seconds, he'll be 8 seconds ahead within a lap. He's sitting at about 7.8 seconds right now. Look at DC5R here. DC5R is up 11 positions.
Goodness.
You know, technically as it sits right now, if the race ended, he would be in second come the main race.
This is true, yeah.
Back to the action up front here for that second position. They have spaced everybody out, but we are also on that long straight here as we come down to the corner. You see everybody running a slightly different line as Bob Wallace just does not have enough to get there on the rear end of AJ. Spicoli still with a commanding lead of 8.5 seconds over the group. Wasn't he just at 7.5 seconds?
I think he was at like 5 seconds 10 minutes ago.
Wow. This guy's moving.
Maybe like 3 minutes ago.
This guy's moving through the field. Brando's trying not to make a mistake tonight. You know, to hold that second position. That'll put him in 7th for the main. Give him some positions to move up here.
Yeah, that's the thing with the reverse grid is that the guys that are sitting in the middle, so Wallace and Sector, are kind of the guys that just want to stay there because you know, they'll either just swap those two or just stay in their positions.
Yeah, but really, I mean, Simply Steve sits in a very, very good position. He doesn't have to make a pass on DC5R. The only thing he has to do is make sure Broseiden does not get by him. And Broseiden is battling with him right now very, very hard, trying to get to that 8th position so he could be in a good position to start the race.
Yeah, I think that's the thing with it, though, is the, I mean, really the guys that are in the middle and towards the back are the ones that are in pretty good positions, at least up until 8th. So they don't really have to move a whole lot.
Even where the DC5R has crashed, but I believe he just went off track. He's still sitting in a good position in 7th. So we will not go back and review that.
Yeah, as I say, it didn't look like he lost any positions, so.
Getting a good look here at I'm sorry. Getting a good look at 2, 3, and 4 here, coming down to the long right-handed corner here. Just see how long and how wide that is. It's like somebody, I've got smoke on track, or maybe that's a haze. Keep an eye though. AJ's went outside, or I'm sorry, inside technically, as they come through, and AJ will get the position from Brando for second. Looks like Brando's going to look for a crossover here. Does not get it. Does not set it up well. It's going to stack up behind AJ and continue racing. But AJ will hold second position for right now.
That was a really good move by AJ to get on the inside of him and move past him. He used the draft to his advantage and managed to pick up a position.
You see nobody but free, clear, clean real estate ahead of AJ, except for Spicoli, who sits 10.5 seconds ahead of everybody. But looking in the rear here, the rear of Brando. That's not the rear. That's the rear. The rear of Brando here, you've got Bob Wallace all over the rear end of Brando here. So Bob Wallace is wanting something. Bob Wallace is wanting something to happen here to either Brando or AJ to get his positions back that he lost. Currently sitting in fourth. He started in second. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. He's got about 6 minutes to make a move. Erico saying that AJ is going to walk off into the sunset. I don't know. We'll see. These guys have been racing pretty clean, pretty hard all race, as Bob Wallace is doing everything he can to maintain up there with Brando. You see Bob Wallace looking to make a move here on Brando. They get ready for this long corner here. Brando looks on the inside of AJ. Has nothing going. Still going through. AJ actually overstepped that corner a little bit, as long as Brando both did the same thing. See then the back, G-Bay getting a little wide there on the exit of that corner. Bob Wallace looking inside of Brando. Nothing going. Another position battle. Hillbrook side, and it's got a position battle with DC5R and Simply Steve. DC5R in the rear of this group. Side-by-side action for Bro Sidon and Simply Steve right now. Simply Steve will overtake. Oh, as DC5R wipes out, gets sideways to the corner.
Oh, no.
He's going to go back to 12th with that. Let's go back and look at it.
It's going to be a tough break for him. He went up to 7th, and then now he's back in 12th, so he's out of the reverse grid positions.
You see him lock it up. He does get it put back in reverse and get out of the way of traffic, but that is going to upset his car just enough to where he may not have time to get back to that 8th position, as now he's battling with the 2 car of Nerd. AJ, Brando, Wallace still sitting in that order. G-Bay and Sector battling for a 5th position. Poseidon setting pretty. Going to be getting a grid change to first come the start of this next race. You see how wide Simply Steve took that corner compared to Poseidon there in that number 99. DC5R is going to have some tires. He left a lot of tire back there in that spin. So more than likely he's flat spotted a tire or two. Got him extremely hot. Putting down more rubber than he can save. He's lucky this race is over here in about 3 minutes, because if not, it'd be a very, very tough next 20 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. And as Erico makes mention of in the Twitch chat, the tires are going to be hot now, and it's going to be very tough.
Yeah, he knows a little bit more about this road racing stuff than I do. I just know how to call a good race, and I understand, the point of it, and I've raced Sebring here in the NASCAR series before, but nothing like these cars here. I mean, I couldn't imagine driving these cars. You can see how glowing these rear rotors are. And the reason they're putting their brakes to the rear here is so they don't get the front of the car all upset.
Mm.
Actually, Erico might be able to answer this question. Is there a brake bias in these cars?
I would imagine there would be.
I don't really know if there is. I don't know. I know I learned fuel goes into the front of the cars. Something I learned at the beginning of this series.
And yes, he says there is brake bias adjustment for these cars.
Yeah, so you could tell where the brakes are glowing, where these guys are putting their brakes, and it looks like the majority of them are putting it back to the rear here. And a lot of that probably has to do with the way these guys are stopping, as you see Simply Steve there getting really red hot in the brakes.
Yeah, and Erico says that most people run it quite a bit towards the rear, about 60% or so. But yeah, it's like you said, just to keep the front end from getting upset, because you really don't want to upset the front end, because it's very crucial to. I mean, really, you don't want to upset any of the car, but the front end is definitely a very crucial part of this.
Well, looking at it from a physics point of view, I mean, you get more people white flag in the air for AJ and Spicoli here, but what I'm seeing, what I'm thinking about with physics is AJ gets loose. You get a lot of brake in the front. The more that rear is going to pick up. There's not a lot of weight in the rear end because there's no fuel in the rear end. So that rear end is going to be like an empty bed of a truck. It's going to get really loose and spin around. And Erico, you may correct me if I'm wrong there, but I believe that's how that works physics-wise. That's why you want to put the remaining brake bias that you have to the rear to help with that. So the rear is slowing down faster than the front, so the front doesn't slow down more quickly than the rear end, causing it to get upset. And I think I just had a physics lesson there, but I think that's it.
Probably. The way I think about it is I think that the fuel load is probably more weight in the front than the engine is in the back. And so, you want to have even distribution, but, really having the brakes toward the front would probably kind of shift that weight around too much, shift that fuel around too much and cause a little bit of instability.
Yeah. So, same principle.
Engine is in the rear on these cars, not much weight in the front, so they lock up extremely quickly. Yeah. So I think that's the thing is if you have the brakes towards the front, because there's so much weight in the front, or I guess there's enough weight in the front, you can actually lock up the brakes because there's just not enough. There's too much on it, and so they just lock up too quickly.
I got you. Well, with that being said, Spicoli will bring home the win for the sprint race number 1. The first race was a 20-minute race, and Spicoli will be your winner of that. He's going to go to 8th. AJ is going to go back to 7th with his second place finish. Brando is ranking up the rear in 3rd. He'll go back to 6th. Wallace will stay in his position in... Will he stay in his position? Think about this. I don't know. Math is too hard right now. I just did a physics lessons with you guys. I'm not doing math.
Yeah,
Isn't there a 15-minute break between classes?
I don't know.
All I know is Rosidon's gonna come home in 8th, which means he will be the leader coming into the next race. These guys will have a 10-minute warm-up on this next portion of the race here. A 10-minute warm-up. So with that, let's go into the announcements that we were going to talk about in this break period here. We have merch. Now, what's merch? Well, yeah, it is what it is. Teesprings is where we went to get our merch from. You can buy. I think we added iPhone cases. We added a sheet of metal that has our logo on it. Actually, looks really, really cool. Hoodies. It's got T-shirts. Anything you can think of. We're adding more stuff on there. We've got a water bottle. So if you're looking to pick up some merch, you can get it on there. You can use code URNW at checkout to get 10% off for a limited time. So make sure you go to our Teesprings website. Jacob, if you mind throwing that in the chat, if you can get that, please.
I'll see. So I got to go figure out where the link is.
Check our Discord. It'll be there.
Yeah, I should probably get it from there. Probably be easier.
He's going to be posting this link momentarily. Go check it out. Once, anything that you purchase from there helps us directly. There's no middleman. It goes straight to our United Racing Network PayPal. So we do appreciate any support on that you have, that you want to give us. There's even stickers you can buy for pennies on the dollar. So if you want a URNW sticker, go check them out. We are going to go into our warm-up right now. And with that, I'm going to throw on some music, and we'll see you here in about 8 minutes. Got about a minute, about 2 minutes left on this warm-up period before we go into the 40-minute race. We will have one set of pit stops just to get a little more fuel in the front of these cars. We did see some cars get a little upset, did we not, Jacob?
I believe we did.
I know DC5R got a little loose. We've seen Simply Steve get a little loose. Nerd got a little loose. I think that's going to be more prevalent in this 40-minute race because it's double the time than the last one. And these guys are spending, 10 minutes in, 20 minutes in. So it's going to be interesting to see. DC5R is getting some laps in right now, trying to perfect what he messed up on previously. He's going to be starting as a rotation flips. I believe he finished 12th or 11th. So he will be finishing, he'll be starting in that same position on this next start. Spicoli would be going back to 8th.
Yeah, if he wants to win both, he's gonna have to get back up to the front, which is gonna be tough to do. But I don't know, maybe we'll see him do it.
Yeah, and looking at the Heat 1 results, Spicoli would go to 8th, AJ would go to 7th, Brando will go to 6th, Bob Wallace will go to 5th, Sector will go to 4th, G-Bay will go to 3rd, second goal will go to Simply Steve, and Bro Sidon will go to 1st. Top 8 inverts. Can't believe I did that.
Good job.
Yay.
Yay. Need to get one of those. You already have a Go XLR, but I think you need the larger one to have the soundboard add-on.
Hey, I got a Stream Deck, and we can get a soundboard.
We need an applause button. Actually, no, I don't think we do.
No, I don't think we need one because I would use it like this beat button here. I don't know if.
Oh no, jeez.
I don't know if I would use it right. I just press the button every time I got, I'm sorry. Sorry, everybody that don't like the beep. Had to though. That's 10 minutes. We'll get gridded here. We'll go through I will put the grid on the screen here for the starting lineup. We will not go through it because we just went through the top 8, but we will go and put it on screen for people to see at home. And I am noticing that we do have something cut off there at the bottom. That will be corrected next week. We had a sponsorship change and some things got moved around, and we'll have that fixed next week.
Yep. There's also a spelling error, but we're not going to talk about it.
Is there?
Yeah.
Oh, I see it.
Spelling is difficult sometimes.
Man,
everything is difficult.
I'll tell you what. Let me just add that O into that right there. Hang on just a second.
He should change it. You better hurry. We're about to go green. And we're green.
Good launch by these guys up front. Everybody fanning out here, coming down to the first right-hand or left-hand corner. Simply Steve will get by Bro Side in there pretty easily. Looks like G-Bay is going to take the corner wide. So does DC5R at the rear. Oh!
Uh-oh. That was a tender car.
Carnage. Trying to find it.
There's so many cars.
It was every time I go to click on a car, it moves. Long Island Nerd is involved. Let's go back and look at that.
My goodness, what happened?
3 wide straight scented is what happened there. Lamp gets, oh my gosh, it's an accordion effect.
Yeah, so.
Both of the tender car goes around.
Yeah, so one of them got tagged by the other, and then as they were turning, they tagged someone else. So it was just an accordion effect.
Yeah, this is the inside view of the car. There's 2 of the cars on the outside of him right here. He gets sideways, grabs his teammate there. No hard damage by anybody, but you do see everybody getting around there. That's not a way you want to start the race.
Man.
Looks like 976 was involved in that. He's got some damage there. Book has got some damage on his front end as he gets a little up on the rumble strips there. Let's back take a look at the front here. Everybody seems to kind of be sitting in there except for the two up front. Brosside and Simply Steve battling it out hard as they get ready to go through this right-hand corner. This long right-hand corner coming down to the front stretch here. Lap 1 will be complete on this time by. It looks like Brosside, unless Simply Steve can get out ahead. It looks like Simply Steve will get ahead and lead that first lap. So there will be points awarded to him for that.
It's always crazy when you see that, when you see the guys that are neck and neck and then they just cross the line, and it counts as a lead lap for the guy that actually crossed the line first. Even though the other guy was leading.
Oh, Brosside grabs Simply Steve.
He tags him. Holy cow. Oh, no.
Brosside grabs Simply Steve. First place now belongs to G-Bay. Let's go back and look at it.
That was crazy.
You see him here side by side coming off the corner. G-Bay does not grab Brosside, but Brosside does overcook those tires and gets Simply Steve almost getting into the number 30 car of Avovoom.
Yeah, that was crazy. Just locking up the brakes and he tags him. Man.
Yeah, that puts him back into 15th. That's toughest break of the evening so far, and we're just simply into it. Brosside instead of we're just getting into it. And he's already got the toughest break.
Simply into it. Did you mean to do that?
I don't think I did, but it works.
Oh my.
976 is coming back on to the track from pit road at this time. Nicolator somehow has avoided all the trouble, but has fell back to 11th. He did get called up in that wreck earlier, but he did not get tagged. He just kind of slowed up a little bit.
I'm just over here thinking about that pun. We're just simply into it because we were focused on Simply Steve.
That's better than your segues, isn't it?
It kind of is, yeah.
Spicoli has already made his way. Spicoli has made his way up there to second, moving up 6 positions. He's on G-Bay's tail right now, looking to make a move, but he's just not in position yet to strike. He's creeping through the night like a spy. Spicoli? That was not as good as the other one, is it?
This guy, he's just the pun master, isn't he?
I don't have one for DC5R because he's using letters and acronyms.
DC, more like direct competition, am I right?
Oh.
Bad. That was really bad. I'm going to see myself out now.
Here's the door slam. G-Bay is trying to hold off Spicoli here, but the battle is for first right now. We do have a close battle through the field back here, but it's not really a battle. Everybody's tucked in line because they know that they've got to make it to minute 40 of this race to have a chance at winning this thing, and they're just all tucked in line. But the battle right now is between Spicoli and G-Bay.
G-Bay, a driver that we don't really have much information on. We haven't really seen much of, and it seems like he's doing some pretty good work right now. But you know, Spicoli's not gonna let him have it for free, so he's gonna try to battle as much as he can.
Yeah, you know, definitely gonna be looking at taking some credit away from G-Bay here. You know, he's lining up the corners here perfectly, and it looks like he's getting ready to make a move on G-Bay here. Spicoli is. You see Spicoli looking on the inside of G-Bay here. They are side by side coming down to that long right-hand corner here. Spicoli will have it. Can G-Bay set up a crossover here? Does not. Gives it to Spicoli, and Spicoli will have 1 lap led in this race. See G-Bay is looking to make another move here. Side by side the back, DC5R battling it out with AJ and Bob Wallace here. Bob Wallace is in a familiar position, sitting in that 4th position where he finished last race. But right in front of him is Brando, who is up 3 positions back in front of him. More that Nick went off track here. Nicolator did. He went off track right there. He does collect it, does get it straight. Good job to him, because that could have been disastrous on his part.
Yeah, that could have been a very, very bad time.
Looks like he was getting a little loose there. DC5R and Lamp has crashed? Yes, they have. DC5R locks it up, grabs Lamp right there. It did count as a wreck. I'm not sure where that wreck happened at, but I know he locked the wheels up. He may have went off track just enough to get it to cause. We're going to keep watching here. Yeah, him locking it up may have caused that accident. Let's see what happens to this corner here. Yeah, that's going to be it right there. Just him locking it up caused the alert box to go off for me. Brando sitting in that 3rd position right now. Does have a battle in the back here. AJ steps outside of Bob Wallace. Side by side coming down to this left-hand corner. Bob Wallace is sitting in a good position over AJ right now as Bob Wallace does take the shorter way around the track. AJ is all in the dirt right now. Does keep it straight though. And Bob Wallace will maintain 4th. DC5R is right behind him. He's trying everything in his power to get up there to the front.
I just noticed that Lamp has actually gone into the pits and he's at pit exit right now.
Yeah, pit exit is at the beginning of turn 1. So when these guys start doing green flag pit stops here shortly, probably the next 15 minutes, if people are coming around that area, it's going to get really congested really quickly. Spicoli and G-Bay are still battling it out hard. You can see G-Bay is not letting Spicoli get the lead that he had in the 20-minute heat race. Spicoli won the race by almost 15 seconds ahead of the group, and G-Bay is not letting that happen here as G-Bay is following every corner to a T of Spicoli. Back here checking on the battle for the 4th position. AJ and Bob Wallace are still battling it out strong. AJ's trying to get on the rear bumper of... As he does, he takes it inside. He does not do anything. Does take the shorter way around the track. He may have it here. Gets side by side with Bob Wallace here. And down at the line, it will be too close to call for that lap, but I believe it will go to AJ for 4th, as Bob Wallace will take that position back. Bob Wallace says take it inside. He slides up the track just a little bit in front of AJ. AJ on the rear bumper, trying not to get into the back of him. It's about a length of a tire away from the bumper of Bob Wallace here. You can just see how close he actually is here. This is the bumper camera. Don't knock it off, AJ. We're trying to watch you. Side by side coming down to the next corner. Bob Wallace will be in the better position on that corner. You want to try to be on the inside of the corners for the most part when trying to make passes. Or when you're in that position to force the guy on the bottom, the guy that is taking the shortest way around the track, to make a mistake. So we did not see that through that corner. AJ will tuck it back inside behind Bob Wallace and continue on. DC5R is just kind of watching right now. He word that lamp has crashed. And 976 has went off track. Take a look at the lamp incident. Yeah, you can see he got into the grass just a little bit, gets sideways. Nobody's coming. He's going to take back off and continue his race.
Yeah, it was going to hurt his time a little bit.
Yeah, he was not a contender, up front anyway. So he knows he may be able to get some stuff back when it comes to these pit stops coming up. G-Bay is still hanging in there with Spicoli, but Spicoli has increased the gap on G-Bay by almost a second and a half here.
And you can tell Spicoli wants to keep the position that he has, but G-Bay of course wants to get the position back that he had because he was originally in first at one point. So
yep, and AJ has set up a crossover move but does not get it executed. He is on the inside on that preferred line over Bob Wallace, but as we go through the chicanes here, DC5R is falling right in behind AJ. He may let AJ sit out here to dry, close that hole there, but it looks like DC5R will be tucked in behind AJ here, pushing him, trying to get him ahead of Bob Wallace, but Bob Wallace is just hitting his marks here.
And like you mentioned earlier, you want to be on the inside of these corners because you want to cut as much distance as you possibly can. Being on the inside does that. But, sometimes you can get around them on the outside, depending you have enough momentum.
Enough momentum and forcing the guy down low to make a mistake. That's another big one.
Mm-hmm.
And through the last 5 corners, make it 6, now 7. These guys have been side by side. We actually have a 3-way battle for that 4th position right now. You see these guys are battling out for every position possible. I mean, the gap between these guys is less than a second between the 3 of them. Total gap time's about a half a second between all 3, and that's some very tight racing so far. But Biker Pilot and Nicolator are also having some sort a close battle. But we're going to stick to the front up here.
And I can see the gap between Evo Voom and Bear as well. The gap between them is pretty darn small.
As Bear almost gets it sideways there coming off the corner. They've got similar paint schemes, so I'm sure they're probably on the same team.
At least you can tell which one's which, because one has red mirrors, the other one has black mirrors.
Yeah, tell me about it.
So that's nice.
maybe the Tinder car should get a look at that.
Yeah,
Maybe change the eyes out to, I don't know, women's eyes. I don't know.
What?
Well, one has guys' eyes, one has women's eyes. So I mean, it's
what does women's eyes mean?
like women's eyes, like the eyeballs,
They're eyeballs are eyeballs, man. They're just
yeah, but that old man, he's a little creepy. He's a little creepy.
Just stop. Jeez, man.
You guys kicked off the air here is what I'm. It's not my intentions, but I can see it now. Ban reasoning, woman's eyes.
Yeah, that's just it. We here at the United Race Network do not condone offending anyone.
Yeah. So side-by-side battle. Looks like DC5R is thinking about making it 3 wide. Does not do it. Probably a good decision here, because these two, as they battle it out strong here, side by side, going through the S curves. Fixing come down to the long straight on the tarmac. AJ will get the position as of right now, but he does not have enough to clear Bob Wallace here. A beautiful camera angle there. I love seeing it. DC5R is going to tuck his nose in there. technically 3 wide right now, going through the long right-hand corner. DC5R is going to make a little movement here, cause a little bump, and AJ is going to take that position. Take that back. Bob Wallace is still neck and neck for this position.
The momentum that Wallace has is just obnoxiously, it's just intriguing.
Yeah, DC5R is going to make it 3 wide. Bob Wallace will take that corner inside, but will push high. DC5R is in the dirt. Does keep it straight. These guys are racing like it's the last lap right now for this position.
Yeah, back there was pretty interesting because AJ had all of the what was the word I was looking for? I just had it in my head. He had all of the advantage, but Bob Wallace was just having enough momentum off the turn to get up to him and pass him, and it's just crazy.
Oh, and it looks like Bob Wallace has got back up by Brosidon here. These two are on teams. Sure, one has Marvel characters, the other one has DC characters.
He's calling it back up.
Side-by-side battle with DC5R here. Apologize about that. Bob Wallace will lose the position to AJ, and now he's got to worry about DC5R as DC is all over his rear bumper right now. Not an inch to spare as they get ready to go through these hairpin-esque corners here. DC is making every move right to cause Bob Wallace to make a mistake. That's what he's wanting right now, is for Bob to make a mistake as they get ready to go on this long straight here. DC has been having the speed through these long straights. However, Bob Wallace has been carrying the momentum through the corners. So, be very interesting to see what happens there. Looks like Spicoli has got an interval of about 2 seconds over G-Bay here. That's still in striking distance for a pit strategy, so keep that in mind.
Yeah, speaking of pit strategy, DC5R has gone into
don't think that was intentional.
Oh, was it not? Oh. Oh, boy. Well, he's right there at the pits anyway. He's going to have to go in. Yep, he hits the dirt.
I'm checking to see where that happened at, because it didn't even register. We're going to speed this up here and see where that happened at, because it didn't even register a wreck. It was going to be past this corner right here. Oh, no, we got a little more to go here. It looked like a very interesting move. I apologize, guys. We're having to go around the entire track with these guys.
Super speed.
Yeah. So these guys will be racing like crazy. This is really what it looked like. All right. We should be getting close to it here. Looks like he just gets loose coming off and takes it down pit road, tries to save it, does not save it. And I think he's better off just taking it down pit lane, getting the gas he needs to finish the race, and being in a position to do well. Look for it. He's not out of it yet.
No, definitely not. He can probably still make up some ground.
That's just hard battling there between the three of them. And just like that, there was none in the battle here. The battle for 12th now is between DC and Book. And we'll go through the field here before we start green flag pit stops here. Setting in first is going to be Spy Coley. Setting in that second position is going to be G-Bay. Setting in third is going to be Brando. Fourth belongs to AJ. Fifth belongs to Avovoom. In sixth is Bear. Seventh is Bob Wallace. He's on pit lane right now. In that eighth position should have been Nicolator. Ninth position belongs to Brosidon.
They're moving all over the place.
Yeah, pit stops have started. Simply Steve is in. Biker Pilot's in. That's 10 and 11 there. Book is in 12th. 13th belongs to DC5R. after his little incident getting into pit lane, unintentionally but intentionally. Nerd sits in that 14th position. 15th belongs to Sector. Let me find him here. Where's Sector at? There he is.
He's somewhere.
And then 16th is Garlic Dog. Simply Steve is exiting pit lane right now. He's got
his micropilot.
He's got some weight back in the front end, but you can see he got a little loose there coming off the pit lane. Look for the battle right now on pit road to be between G-Bay and Spicoli. Spicoli has increased that lead to about 5 seconds. A little less than 5 seconds, but that's not enough here to make something happen. You know, we're used to seeing these guys getting 30, 40, 50-second leads and then jumping into the pit lane, but we're not seeing that. I don't think we'll see that tonight. Just because G-Bay has kept Spicoli in his grips. As we get ready to see if Spicoli will enter pit lane, he does not. G-Bay may be thinking about entering pit lane earlier, ahead of Spicoli, ahead of Spicoli, just to get that extra fuel that he needs. But we'll see. We'll keep an eye on the front there.
Yeah, in terms of those big gap times, I don't think you're going to see that at Sebring because, or at least here with the sprint series at Sebring, just because I don't know if there's enough. I don't know if there's enough track to really to give that whole thing a shot, to get that much distance on somebody.
There's a lot of speed to be had, and these corners are, as much as they're technical, they're not at the same time. If you know how to take a corner in Apex, you can get around Sebring pretty easily. The biggest thing you're worried about is tires on that concrete getting super hot and not being able to cool down. As I believe was a big issue with DC when he went around. He just went into that corner a little hot, got around. Unfortunately, had to go into the pits because he had passed the commitment line, and you know that's just how it is. But I don't think he's out of it because he did pit. We're going to take a look at the pit stints here, or at the pit stop lap here. So Spicoli still hadn't pitted. Looks like 6th and 7th has pitted. Avovoom is, I think he's pitted as well. Yeah. So the only person that's not pitted, make sure DC has pitted. Yeah, he pitted, took about 11 seconds to pit there. So, if DC can get a good gap time over these guys, it'll look pretty good here. Yeah, DC pitted on lap 9, so you know these top 4 or 5 are going to be trying to get their position over one another, especially over that group that's already pitted. So that's what their battle is right now on track.
Looks like Spicoli has just entered the pit lane. I think you were about to say that.
Yeah.
G-Bay has gone in too.
Yep, right behind him. G-Bay probably doesn't have enough gas to make it. Brando goes in right behind him. AJ will take this opportunity to lead a lap, potentially. No. Spicoli will lead that lap. AJ will become the leader of this race as of right now. He will be pitting soon, though, because he has not pitted. He is the only car on track that has not pitted. You see Sector has some damage on his right rear. Sorry, left rear.
One of the rears.
G-Bay and Spicoli have made it out of pit lane. DC has not been able to make his way up to the field to get there, although the gap has decreased slightly. His gap to first appears to be
49.7.
Is it 49.7 to the leader?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I'm showing anyway, gap to leader.
Yeah, so he just didn't have enough there. I mean, total pit lap time, or pit lane time, was averaging between 40 and 50 seconds. Actually, DC took a longer pit stop at 58 seconds than everybody else. He actually was one of the longer pit stops there, besides the ones that have went in for damage. But for just tires and fuel, which you don't really need tires yet, he set on pit lane 40 something seconds. Pit stop is about 10 seconds, and I think that has to do with the spin and trying to get recovered from that spin. AJ is still showing to have not pitted, as he does go in pit lane now. And that will give Spicoli and G-Bay a chance to get up there. G-Bay has not let Spicoli get out of his sights as of yet. AJ will lead a lap coming into pit lane. Spicoli and G-Bay will get right on by him here. He may have time to not let Brando get by him. Brando is coming down the lane here. Trying to find some close battles here. Looks like this is going to be it between Book and DC.
Yeah, as I say, all the close battles seem to have kind of dissipated. These guys are spread out pretty well now.
Well, and you'll see that with pit stops for sure. You'll see everybody start fanning out, getting into their rhythm. You know, you'll see some guys take advantage of somebody in front of them going into the pit lane just to get that extra position gained. So, as we approach the 10 minutes to go mark, they will get a notification saying, hey, you got 10 minutes to go, push it or lose it. And these guys, you'll start seeing some people start pushing these cars. They do have enough fuel in their cars, or if they strategize well, they do have enough fuel in their cars to make it to the end now. So we shouldn't see anybody run out of fuel. As you see Book get a little loose there. Actually lock up the front tires, and DC's going to take off by him. And now Book's got to deal with Nicolator and Simply Steve, who is coming right up the rear of him. Book has got really, really hot tires here. You can see how slow he is compared to the others. Nicolator looking to make a pass on Book right now. This will be for the 10th position, or for the 9th position. Simply Steve was involved in a spin out early on in this race, falling down to 14th. He's made his way up to 11th now, knocking on the door of 9th.
He's knocking on that door, but I think as you mentioned earlier, Book has the hot tires, so he's going to be kind of struggling for some speed, and it's going to be interesting to see if he can keep it up. But it looks like Steve is going to have that inside line. He's going to try to make a move, but Book has got just enough momentum in the corner, and they're going to be neck and neck.
Neck and neck, 3 wide. Simply Steve's going to stick his nose in there, 3 wide at the line. Book will have it, but we are approaching a left-handed corner up here. Simply Steve will make the pass. Is he going to move up too high of Nicolator there? Nicolator will grab the dirt. You can actually go in the dirt here and it not count against you. It's not advised.
You definitely want to take a corner that wide because that'll slow up your speed a bit. So it's going to hurt him just slightly, but I don't think it's going to matter in the long run. He seems to have caught up just fine.
Yeah, Nicolator is still trying to make a move on Book. Simply Steve has made that pass tonight. He went from 11th to 9th just like that. Simply Steve is one of the more impatient drivers of the league. You know, if he wants something done, he's going to get it done himself. He's not going to wait on somebody to make a mistake, as you've seen right there, as he got around Book there. Nicolator has hot tires as well. You see him getting super loose there, coming into the corner, trying not to get into the backside of Book. It's like AJ and Brando are battling it out for third right now. This is a familiar sight with these two, side by side going through these corners. But last time it did not end very well. At the line, AJ would have led that lap, or will lead that lap. See, Brando is just trying everything in his power to get up there around AJ. But AJ has been the better driver tonight, but Brando has been the more consistent driver. May have not been better on straights and may have not been better on drafting, but consistent in the corners has been key for this guy tonight.
Yeah, consistency is definitely the thing these guys want. They want to be consistent and fast, but sometimes you can't have both. So really consistency is probably a better option in this scenario.
Yeah, just make sure you're taking these corners the way they should, as he actually upset one of the corners there. Car got a little off center. You see they're not really into the brakes real hard out there. You see the brakes did not glow near as much as we've seen some tonight. It's like G-Bay and Spike Coley have got about a 3-second gap between one another, but G-Bay has got to start working on getting that time reduced, because we have 6 minutes remaining in this race before we crown a winner. As it sits right now, Spike Coley will win it, as if the caution flag wave right now, Spike Coley will have it. But there is still a lot of time left in this race to make something happen. But he's got to get a move on now. Looks like Bear, Book, and Nicolator are now battling for position.
Book gets a little fishtaily in the corner there.
Wonder how the LMP cars are going to take that corner next week. Are they going to hit the dirt every time, or are they going to be taking the corners a little more tight?
That'd be a good thing to see. I imagine they'd probably be taking them pretty tight, I would imagine, but I don't know. Gotta wait a week to see it. Looks like DC5R has lowered the gap to leader. He used to be at 49 seconds, and he's at 41. I think the lowest I saw him was about 39 seconds. So he has gained some distance, but he's still, I don't know if he has enough distance to get back to the front.
Yeah, and as it sits right now, Spike Coley, he is Spike Coley has increased the gap over G-Bay to almost 6.5 seconds here, to the point where you don't hardly see him here anymore. Word that Bear has crashed, but I don't see where he would have crashed at. Let's take a look at it. Does a good job keeping that thing straight. It was technically a crash, but he does a good job keeping it as straight as he could there.
Yeah, it's just a thing getting loose in these corners and all that, but he kept it together, so good on him.
Yep, Nerd is entered pit lane. Getting where the Long Island Nerd has went off track, as you actually see it right there, and he actually grabs that wall just a tad.
Yeah, just barely.
I think he's thinking he's drifting.
See a dirt racer now? But it's all grass.
Well, Doc Hudson is one of my mentors, so.
There it is. You can't be the lawnmower though, because that's you.
That's true.
Gotta mention that every time now. Oh man, the gap, by the way, between Spicoli and G-Bay has been increasing steadily. It was like 8 seconds about a minute and a half ago. So
Yeah, and I'll tell you
I don't know
why.
what Spicoli's doing, but he's got some distance.
I'll tell you what the issue is. I believe G-Bay has burned his tires up trying to catch Spicoli to the point where now it has actually hindered him.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the
what
problem.
I imagine. The hot tires are really causing some issues for these guys, and like Erico mentioned earlier, it's going to get tough.
Well, it's not necessarily
some of these guys.
It's not necessarily the hot tires. It's the fact he doesn't probably have tires left.
Well,
that's
yeah,
that's the part that we have to realize here. And you can see him. We're gonna actually ride along with him here and see how much he's actually fighting that car.
He's probably fighting him like heck.
He's a little wobble there, the wheel. Another one right there.
Yeah, you can tell he's fighting it a little bit, but he's keeping it controlled, which is good.
Yeah, he's definitely battling it out right there, trying to get something going. But I mean, the gap. Spicoli is, if he's going to be here next week, no matter what division he's going to be in, he's going to be one to beat here. I do remember him saying that this is one of his better tracks, so he's definitely showing up and showing out. We're under a minute to go here in the race. This may be it for Spicoli. He may be crowned the champion of this race as long as he can. He may have actually one more lap to go because we are in the long right-hand corner. We shall see right here at the line. Nope, this will be it. Spicoli will be your winner tonight of the J2i Sprint Series with the Porsche Cup cars. He will bring it home first for the final time of this season for the Sprint Cup race. G-Bay is bringing home the rear in 17 seconds back here. AJ and actually Brando and Wallace were almost catching him here.
There's AJ doing the wiggle.
Poseidon's bringing it around here. Book will be bringing home 11th here. Nobody in contention for his spot. And that will do it, guys. Spicoli is your winner tonight. Won the main and the heat race with fashion tonight. I mean, he moved up all positions he needed to get that first place position, and he did so in fashion. Great pit strategies tonight by him, maintaining that first place position all night long. For the most part, I mean, there was some battles early on, but he is the guy to beat, and I believe he will be the guy to beat next week for sure. As we have a few more guys here. few more guys waiting on track to finish. And here are your feature results. Spicoli bringing home first, G-Bay second, AJ third, Brando fourth, and Bob Wallace is fifth. That's your top five. Is the top three available to speak?
Let's let's see if they are. Where is Spicoli? Where are you? I'm not seeing Spicoli available at the moment.
Is G-Bay available?
G-Bay, I believe that's going to be this guy. So I will bring him up real quick.
You want to confirm? Just make sure.
Well, the fact that how was his last name spelled? Is it B-A-E?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, this should be the one. We'll find out here in a moment anyway. G-Bay, is Jacob in the booth? How you got us?
Yeah, sure do, man.
Man, a heck of a race, battling with Spicoli pretty much the whole time, but he just didn't have enough momentum to get there. But he brought home P2. So how does it feel? Talk about the P2.
Yeah, it feels good, man. I've been in the league for, better part of 2 years right before COVID, and all that mess. But yeah, so it's the first race back in a while. But car felt really good, and Spicoli's just really fast. So at the end, I definitely fell off. I had to save a little bit of fuel, so I was letting off early on corner entries. I kind of pinched my fuel a little bit on my pit stop to try and make up a little time, but that ended up biting me. So, but yeah, no, it was fun to get back, and I just kind of updated my rig with direct drive, so my arms are really tired, but totally worth it, man. It was a good race. I appreciate what you guys are doing too. I've been watching the streams, and my off time life has been a little busy, so it's good to get back.
There you go. Just talk us through that last little run there. I mean, did you burn your tires up? Were you just having did you not have enough fuel there towards the end? We seen the gap go from 2 seconds to 17 seconds in like 3 laps.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, if I had stayed trying to battle Spicoli, even with enough fuel, I probably wouldn't have made it, but I definitely didn't have enough fuel. So like I said, I was fuel saving very aggressively for the last I don't know, probably 4, 3, 2 laps, somewhere around there. And just had to make it to the end and save P2. So that worked out. It was nice.
Yep, for sure. We enjoyed what we saw out there tonight, and you're gonna be here next week for the endurance race.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I got to get my GT3 skills back up and running a little bit. So we'll hopefully be able to do it and get another top 5 next week. Hopefully I can make it. That'd be nice.
Yeah, for sure. Make sure you tell everybody that you can about next week's race. We'll be posting announcements in the Discord here for J2i, so y'all know to get it out to your families. It'll be a race for the season, I tell you.
Awesome, man. Well, appreciate you guys streaming. You guys are doing an awesome job, better and better every week. So thank you for that, and hopefully we'll see you next week.
Yep. We'll see you, buddy.
All right, so that was G-Bay. Make sure I don't see, not missing anything. See if Spicoli is available. He is still not available. So who was in third?
AJ.
All right, let's see if AJ is available. He is.
And
AJ, check him in the booth. How you got us?
yeah, I got you guys loud and clear.
A heck of a race, P3 finish. Didn't do too awful bad. So talk about the P3 finish and how you're feeling.
That I would say has to be one of the best races I've had in a long time. Bob had an amazing battle through there. He was doing really good defensive. I just couldn't find a way by him, and I really want to try because I saw the DC Cup was catching back up, and just wanted to get by him, try to catch up to Brando. But I'll say that was just amazing battle, and Bay did a really good race too, and also Spicoli. It was just a good race all around for everyone.
Yeah, so we were watching your battle with Brando, and actually, um, uh, overall there was some. I'm not going to say questionable moves because I mean I probably would have done it, but there were some very close moves that you did, especially there towards the end when you were battling with Brando. Just you will talk us through the decisions that you did going through there and how pit strategy kind of played into those decisions.
For pit strategy, I just went all the way till there was nothing left in the tank, and I couldn't do another lap. I really didn't want to come back out into traffic, so that was my one decision. I knew once I got in that clear air, I just had to keep going and try to put down as fast lap times as I could to try to get back up to Brando and then make up whatever time I could in the pit lane, which seemed to work out as I came up not far behind him. I was able to catch back up to him.
Good deal. Well, I know Bob Wallace and Brando are glad to be out of this race because you were giving them nothing but a mirror full through most of this race. So congratulations on P3. Anything you got to say to your fans or sponsors out there tonight?
Say thanks for everyone, all the support, and everyone watching this race. Yeah, everyone, thanks for watching. Hopefully it was a really good battle. Been a good show.
Yeah, you definitely got a lot of screen time with that battle for sure.
Yep.
You gonna be here next week?
I will.
We'll see you next week. Maybe we'll be talking to you for the final race.
Hopefully. Have a good one, guys.
Yep. All right. Is Spike Coley available yet, or is he still out?
Seems to be not in comms range, so unfortunately we won't be able to get to talk to him.
It's all good. Well, Spike Coley, if you're listening out there, we appreciate you. Good racing tonight. I mean, good battle overall on track and winning both races tonight. I mean, you definitely put in the work with these cars. But, you know, Jacob, it's time for us to end it off here. So,
yep, time for us to skedaddle.
Yep. So we enjoy everybody coming out and watching with us tonight. Make sure you check out our new store. It's posted in the Discord here or on the Twitch. I'm sorry. Make sure you check that out. That supports us directly. If you want to pick up any of our merch, check out W code URNW at checkout for what is it? 10% off the order.
Yep.
Yeah, 10% off your order. Code URNW at checkout for both the Teesprings and W.GG. We appreciate you guys, and we will see y'all next week. We will have an announcement on our socials whenever we have a time that we're going to be going live. So watch out on our socials. Our main one that we've been posting on has been Instagram. So check out Instagram for the update for the race. We will see y'all next Wednesday. Bye, guys. This broadcast is the property of the United Racing Network and Twitch.tv. All reproductions of this broadcast must be approved by the United Racing Network staff. United Racing Network does not claim any responsibility for mishaps that may occur while listening to this production. United Racing Network reserves the right to delete, mute, unpublish, and/or move streaming locations without notice. The opinions of the announcers are not influenced by sponsorship, legal